Hello and welcome to the Hairdresser Strong Show. We talk with stylists from all different backgrounds, hearing their experiences and perspectives about career-defining topics important to rising and transforming hairdressers. I'm your host, Robert Hughes, and this is my guest, Lisa Kennedy. Lisa, will you introduce yourself for us?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on this show. I'm very excited. My name is Lisa Kennedy. I am in Austin, Texas, and I have been a salon suite stylist for over 8 years, but I also have worked in booth rental and commission salons. So I would love to share as much as I can about my experience and my career in different salons for you today.
Awesome. So we had a little chat before the show, and I was saying how I was cruising through your website and your social media, and I was seeing that you did something recently with Daniel Mason Jones, I guess at the
I
beginning of
did.
2020.
Mhm.
And it was about how to be successful in a suite. Is that right?
That's right. Yes.
Uh,
It's
tell,
I currently, my salon suite is with Salons by JC, and they are a franchise with over 200 salon suites across the United States. And so their corporate offices wanted to bring in Daniel Mason Jones to kind of give his perspective of being successful in the industry. But as we all know, Daniel Mason Jones has a very successful salon with 50 hairstylists and more employees. So they brought me along to kind of give my perspective of a salon suite and what my experience was to add on to his business professional advice that he gave in the interview. So it was a really fun time. He was the one that actually taught me the elbow bump, before that was cool from
oh,
COVID, because he doesn't
yeah,
shake
yeah.
hands. So he goes, oh, no,
Okay,
I'll
cool.
bump your elbow. I said, oh, that's weird, but now that's normal.
Yeah, it is normal. Today we're weighing the pros and cons of salon versus suite. And so as a suite owner, why don't you tell us a little bit about like how you decided? So did you you said you worked in you did other stuff before you went off and rented your own suite. I guess the first question would be, are you solo or do you have a partner?
I am solo.
Okay. And when you worked at a salon before, tell us a little bit about like how you decided to go from a salon booth renter, or a little bit about like, a high level overview of that process.
Well, I started my career in London, England, and worked in a commission salon with 10 other hairstylists, and we each had an assistant. So we were able to churn out, 30 clients a day per person. It was insane. And I just remember being exhausted by the end of the day, every day, and only getting Sundays and Thursdays were my days off. So I didn't even get 2 days off in a row, and just being completely exhausted and being tied to their schedule. And I thought, well, at my next salon, I'll try booth rental. So when I moved to Austin, Texas, I decided to try out booth rental with no clientele, which I don't recommend for anyone. But I did
Okay.
pick a salon that had quite a few chairs and in a very busy area of Austin. So I was able in a few years to build up a clientele. It was a lot of work, and it was a lot of sitting around in the salon waiting for walk-ins to come in. And then after 3 years, I was pregnant with my first son and decided I wanted to work part-time. And the owner of the salon said, sorry, I'm not going to rent you the chair part-time. So that's when I started looking for salon suites. And I found this salon suite in a tiny esthetician's office and thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I don't care. And I moved into that salon suite. So that was my thinking of, I want to take my schedule into my own hands, because as a mother, my schedule is the most important thing I have. And I wanted
Okay.
to have control over it.
Okay.
So that was
So
my process of changing from a booth rental salon to a salon suite room, and being able to just kind of control my environment.
gotcha. So I guess that's a good segue into what would you say the pros and cons were? So I guess we'll start with the pro of the suite is flexibility and control. You want to elaborate or share with any other thoughts?
Absolutely. Being able to control the time you're working, your schedule, and the hours. If you want to work midnight to 4 a.m., there's nothing stopping you. But my hours were the daycare hours, so 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. were my hours. And then if one of the kids got sick, I was able to move my people to the next day. But just being able to not have to worry about the salon owner there with the keys to unlock the door for me. Where my salon previously, we started the day at 10:30. I mean, that's, what am I gonna do from 8 to 10:30?
They didn't, the salon. So the salon that you're talking about is where you rented a chair. Is that right?
Right,
Okay.
yes.
So you rent a chair, but the owner controls what time you can go in and what time you have to leave by. Does he have like a open and lock
Yes,
time?
they
And
they had open and close hours. Yeah,
they wouldn't let you start till 10:30?
right.
Oh my
Isn't that
God.
ridiculous?
That's insane. That's so late. Um, okay,
It
anyway.
is.
Okay, so so control extends beyond your schedule. I mean, it's all connected, but like, you know, like, because I can imagine, like, what if you had a key to to the salon, and you could go in whenever you wanted, and then you wouldn't be working part-time, because if you're working 8:30 to 5 or whatever it was, I mean, that's full time. Do you think that might have been
Mhm.
like, do you think you would have stayed, and you think you still be there?
I think eventually I would have left
Okay.
if I did have the hours, but you know, I wanted to be part-time and I wanted to pay part-time. I didn't want to pay
Uh,
full-time and only work half the time.
okay.
So it was managing my work life with my new baby life.
Gotcha.
And so I knew I wanted to set my boundaries, because otherwise, if you don't have boundaries, you're going to take that client on the day you were meant to have the day off. And
Right.
then, you're losing out with quality time with the new baby.
Well, it's like the movies where the business person is never around for like the kids' play or something like that. You don't want to be that person.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
okay, so what do you? So
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Well, working in the 10 chair salon had its great perks as well. I mean, getting to see other people's work is invaluable. I think you can learn from watching other people and the way that they do style and color and do their consultations, or how they're able to sell retail each time. I mean, being around other people, you're able to take on the good things from the other hairstylists that are working for them. But there's also the con of, there are some hairstylists that are plateauing and they don't want to try anymore, and they're kind of done and they don't want to sell any retail. And you can take on some of that negativity without trying. And so I think if you can create your environment as a positive, successful, driven environment, then you can achieve those goals on your own. And so being in a salon suite, you have to buy your own retail, you have to buy all of your own products for color and foils and cleaning. So you do know how much that costs. And so you think, well, I want to use that. I want to be frugal and only use 15 grams instead of 20 grams of color, because you want to prolong that tube of color. But being in a big salon, you have benchmarks and you have goals that the salon does for you, and learning those habits, I think, are invaluable for rising stylists to learn right away, is to work in a commission salon, understand how to verbally sell retail from the beginning of your hair appointment, and talking through the benefits of whatever product you're using as you're doing it, so that you learn those great habits. If you do move on your own, whether it's booth rental or salon suite, those are already things that you're doing, and you don't start slacking off and not earn money when you can. So I think
Oh,
that's important for rising stylists. I think seasoned stylists can always do better with product sales for everyone. I think as an industry, we could be making a lot more on our products than we do. but we feel like we're used car salesmen trying to sell them products when, you know, they need shampoo, they need conditioner, they need something to help them blow dry their hair with. So if they're not buying it from us, they're buying it from Amazon or the grocery store. So it's a mentality, it's a habit, and learning those good habits from the beginning from a well-established commission salon, I think, are invaluable for stylists.
I think that, you know, you're second person to say that, and I never would have thought about that part. And I think a lot about this stuff, and like the whole the whole concept of under being in a salon to understand how the gears work and how, like, the whole thing you said about the goals and stuff. While a lot of hairdressers complain about feeling like they work in a corporate place because they're like jamming goals down their throat and stuff, um, I think most of it is delivery. I think that if you do it the right way, because then I think it won't feel that way. That said, that but that's what I think about. I think of how to deliver the information. I don't think about the value of being in a salon and seeing how a manager handles things like conflict resolution, for example. Like, that's huge. And like,
Well, if you mess up your client's hair, I'm the only one in the room that's going to explain to them what happened and how I can make it better, or how it's time to end our client hairstylist relationship. You
right.
know, it's being able to handle all of those types of situations.
Yeah, and I think having somebody in the beginning of your career to teach you how to like diffuse those bombs is probably a good idea. I think you really, that was a huge value piece right there. I'm going to use that as a little highlight for this. Um,
Awesome.
okay, so what is so you said the thing you liked about being around other hairdressers was the collaboration and I seeing how people work to, like, you know, pick up the good and leave the bad, and so that's good. And the downside is lack of flexibility, and what any other downsides? What about the money? Do you feel like there's like a windfall of cash, or do you think there's or do you think it's mostly the perks of flexibility and control?
The vision of a commission stylist is thinking, well, that and color, and I only get 40% of that. You know, they get to keep the rest of that commit that money, but I don't get to keep the whole 100% of the $200 as a salon suite. I still have to pay my rent that comes every week. I have to pay for all the cost of goods sold, all the retail, all the cleaning, all the marketing, all the laundry. So essentially, I pay myself as a 50% commission stylist.
Okay.
And that is to set my expectations of, okay, well, this is what I need to pay myself each month, because that's the hardest thing is for me is paying myself, because I want to keep it all in the business. I don't want to take it from my business because I know I'll need it for the next month. So paying myself is kind of my last thought, because I know that I want to succeed in my business. So honestly, that's kind of a vulnerability I have, is not being able to pay myself what I'm worth. And that's because I have my vision of my salon success higher than that.
Gotcha. So you put your business above yourself because you have goals and you have a plan, and there's
Right.
that. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that's super
And that's
valuable.
important because, you know, it's not just showing up to work every day. I'm not just showing up and doing hair and I get to go home and when I'm done. Or I'm not just a technician. When you go into a salon suite, you have to be the technician, and you have to be the manager, and you have to be the innovator. So you have to manage your schedule. You have to contact your clients to confirm them. You have to rearrange your clients when they want to rearrange your schedule. Then being the innovator, you have to constantly think about how you're going to better your company. And that's seeking out education opportunities and signing up and paying them for them yourself. And also marketing and social media. Those can be full-time jobs on their own. But now I have to do all three. I have to do the hair, manage the calendar and the bills, and try to make my business better than what it was today.
And I think at the beginning of this, you mentioned you had a family.
I do. I have 3 little boys and a
3?
husband.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's so great. How old are they?
They are 8, 5, and 2.5.
Wow. And running a business. Good for you. That's awesome. So what is, let's say, what is one piece of advice that you would give to a rising stylist that if you had to pick one thing to give as advice, what would you say to a rising stylist who's thinking about going out and getting a booth rental?
I would say that's a terrible idea.
Okay.
Only because I tried it myself and there was a lot of times where I made enough money and that's not worth anyone's time. So rising stylists, I would say, please wait until you have a thriving clientele. You're able to market yourself on social media and attract new clients, knowing how to do Facebook marketing and Instagram marketing, and getting the new clients to come in is the most important thing, because when you're in a salon suite, there's no walk-in traffic. People who show up go to their room to see their hairstylist and then they leave. They're not coming there to walk around to try to find somebody. So there's just completely no walk-in traffic.
Okay.
So I would say stay in a commission salon, get your clientele booked up, and then when you know you're able to do the 3 parts of the business, the technician, the managing, and the innovation, and you want to, if you want to have 3 jobs instead of just one, and I would say that's when you can move into a salon suite.
Got you. Okay, that's good advice. And there's one piece of advice for a seasoned stylist who has a clientele and is thinking about going out on their own.
For seasoned stylists, to make sure all of your clients know how to find you when you do move into your salon suite. You don't want to lose any clients if possible when you do move, and having them able to contact you on social media or on your booking website is imperative, so they're not calling the salon desk where you used to work to find out where you went. And then when you do move into the salon suite, you do get to create a very unique, personalized room, which is such a fun thing to do. And bragging about how it's COVID safe, because you do get to clean as many times as you want. I like to tell all my clients that they're coming to the cleanest chair in Austin, because I do clean it about 30 times a day. But bringing your clientele with you and not getting complacent once you do get into a salon suite would be my advice.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, that concludes our show on weighing the pros and cons of salon versus suite. So thank you so much for your time, and hope to have you back again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.